Blessings to you, family. Welcome back, everyone. I want to share a quick dream that I had with you guys. I think it's going to be insightful for you. It was for me. And I just feel led to share it with you. So I guess maybe it was about 4 or 5 days ago. I had this dream that I was in like a clothing store. I believe if you're here in the States, it was like a Ross or a Marshall's or something like that. And so I was kind of like in the aisles, and you know how sometimes those aisles are really tightly packed. So another person really can't pass through without squeezing past you, or of course without saying, excuse me. Well, as I was in the aisle and the clothing aisle, then these 3 ladies come and they're trying to squeeze past me. And something about it was off though. Like something about it felt like, why are you trying to do this instead of either going around or going down another aisle? Like it just seemed like them trying to move past me wasn't necessary, and it irritated me. But I went ahead and said, okay, so like I move up and let them squeeze past. Well, when they do, I was already towards the head of the checkout. Like where the aisle was positioned, it was close to the checkout lane. Well, when they squeezed past me, then they end up going to the checkout. As they did that, I didn't think too much about it, but afterwards, and I was kind of thinking back on it, and I was like, it was still bothering me in the dream, right? And I was just like, why did they do that? Why did they go down another aisle? And then to see that they actually checked out ahead of me as well, although I should have been next in line. All of this was frustrating me even more. So I end up kind of seeing one of the girls again, and I was telling a friend about it. I was like, yeah, this happened to me at the store, and I don't know why they didn't just go down another lane. And she makes a joke, and we kind of joke about it, but yet it's still bothering me. So I see one of the ladies, out of the 3 ladies, I see one of them and I say like, hey, you know, you could have just went down another lane. Because of what you did, you actually got ahead of me. She makes some kind of comment about like, well, that's just how it was, whatever. All right, end of dream. So when I wake up, then I'm thinking about it, and I immediately get this impression in my spirit from the Lord saying, sometimes kindness can cost you. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean that we're naturally speaking, okay, in waking life, it doesn't mean that we're to be rude or anything like that. But this is all representative, okay? I want you to think about this. It represents sometimes our positioning in the spirit, where we are in relation to moving into our next place or crossing over or our breakthrough. All of these types of things, sometimes we're right there. We're right close to that checkout place to receive it. But we're too kind in the spirit, meaning we're not using our authority enough. We're not standing our ground on the things that the Lord has spoken. And even as it relates to the enemy. Now, this is what I believe. Those 3 ladies, the reason why it irritated me so much in the dream was because I believe that they were distractions sent from the enemy. So many of you have experienced this before, right? Where you're kind of in a place, in this divine flow, in this current with God, and then all of a sudden these distractions and people come and it hits you and you're like, what are you doing? Like, and you even think like, why is this bothering me as much as it is? It shouldn't bother me this much. No, it's because of something that is disruptive in your spirit. It isn't in alignment with your spirit. So it wasn't about a person just being courteous or not having manners or me not wanting to move out of the way. It was something in what these ladies were asking in this dream. It's what it represented that didn't sit well in my spirit. And so the Lord is telling you that sometimes you have to, that's why God tells us that you have to come boldly. And he tells us to use the authority that he's given us, because we can easily let things just slide. We can easily just let the things of the spirit that don't line up with what God has told us, where he's taking us, to get us off track and to get us out of place. Because again, in this dream, these ladies actually got ahead of me when that was not supposed to be their position. So what things have gotten you out of line? What things have you allowed to come into your life or come around you that don't line up with what God has spoken? What words have other people spoken to you in conversation or in social media that don't line up with what you know to be the truth about God, which then gets you out of place? Okay, so I hope that you're understanding. I know I kind of went all around, but I really needed to explain the dream, to share the dream, to get all to this point. So I pray that you really hear what the Lord is saying to you in this. Help him, let him help you to get the understanding, okay? Let the Lord help you get the understanding that you need as it relates to your own life. And again, this isn't about being nice and having common courtesy and manners in waking life. We know we're supposed to do that. But what does this represent to you in your spiritual life is what God is saying, okay? So sometimes that means you got to use that authority and that boldness and say, no, I'm standing my ground. This is the position I'm in, and nothing is getting before me or taking me out of place, okay? All right, family, let me know if this message was a blessing to you. We love you, and I'll talk to you soon.